Let me tell you something that took way too long for me to learn as a writer. Something that, once it clicked, completely changed how I approach my craft. Your words are not precious. Now, I know, you spent 3 hours on that paragraph. It's beautiful, it sings. But here's the hard truth nobody tells you when you're starting out. A beautiful sentence that doesn't serve your story is dead weight. And dead weight sinks books. So today we're going to talk about what you actually are as an author, and it's not what your MFA program told you. Here's a reframe I want you to sit with today. You're not an artist in an ivory tower. You are an entertainer. Now, before you close this video, stick with me. I'm not saying your work isn't art. I'm not saying depth and meaning don't matter. I am saying that the second you decide to share your writing with a reader, you've entered into a contract with them. They gave you their time, their attention, maybe their money. In exchange, you owe them an experience. Think about the storytellers you admire most, the authors whose books you've stayed up until 2 a.m. finishing. Were you thinking about their sentence structure? Were you admiring their vocabulary? No. You were gripped. You were inside the story. That's the goal. Not to be admired, to be felt. Stephen King talks about this. He calls the reader his ideal reader, someone he's actively writing for, trying to produce a specific effect in, not just expressing himself into the void. When you see yourself as an entertainer, your whole relationship with your writing shifts. Every choice becomes a question. Does this serve the reader's experience? Not, does this make me look clever? Not, did I work hard on this? Does it serve the story? Here's a way to think about it. Words are tools, just like this pen. A carpenter doesn't fall in love with their hammer. They use it to build something. And if the hammer isn't working, if they need a nail gun instead, they put the hammer down. No grief, no ceremony. They pick up the right tool and they keep building. Your words are the same. They are instruments for producing an effect in your reader. That's it. That's their job. Now, this doesn't mean writing is purely mechanical. A master carpenter has deep skill, real artistry, genuine pride in their craft. You can care enormously about your prose and hold it loosely enough to change it when the story demands it. The writers who struggle most, and I've been this writer, many of you have been this writer, are the ones who confuse effort invested with value delivered. You spent a week on a chapter. That chapter took blood. That chapter is yours, and your story doesn't need it. That's a hard moment. But here's what experienced writers know. The cut is always the craft. The willingness to remove something, even something good, in service of something better, is one of the highest skills in writing. Faulkner said it. King says it. Every editor who's ever saved a manuscript says it. Kill your darlings. So how do you actually get there? How do you build the muscle of letting go? Step 1, save everything in a cuts document. This is practical and it helps psychologically. You're not deleting your work, you're moving it. Create a separate document, call it cuts, or the graveyard, or whatever feels right to you, and paste everything you remove in there. Suddenly, killing your darlings isn't loss, it's relocation. Your words still exist, they just don't live in your story. Step 2, ask the right question. When you're evaluating a scene, a chapter, a character, stop asking, is this good? Start asking, what does this do? Does it advance the plot, reveal character, build tension, deepen the theme? If you can't answer that question clearly and quickly, that's your signal. Good writing that does nothing is still a problem. Step 3, read like a reader, not a writer. When you're in the middle of drafting, you can't do this. But in revision, you have to put on a different hat. Forget that you wrote it. Forget what you intended. Read what's actually on the page and ask, is this earning my attention? If you hesitate even for a second, that hesitation is data. Step 4, remember what the story is about at its core. Every story has a spine, a central emotional truth it's trying to explore. Everything that doesn't connect to that spine, no matter how beautifully written, is pulling the reader away from the experience you're trying to give them. Know your spine. Protect it ruthlessly. Here's the thing nobody tells you about letting go of precious writing. It's incredibly freeing. When you stop treating your words like little monuments to your effort and start treating them like a craftsperson treats materials, it opens everything up. You write faster because you're not terrified of getting it wrong. You revise more honestly because your ego isn't tied to every sentence. You end up with better stories because the story is finally the boss, not your attachment to what you've already written. The authors I admire most are not the ones who agonize over every word until it's perfect before moving forward. They're the ones who write freely, revise ruthlessly, and always, always keep the reader at the center of every decision. That's the job. Entertain, illuminate, connect. Your words are just how you get there. So the next time you're in revision and you find that paragraph, the one you love, the one that took forever, the one that is genuinely, objectively beautiful, ask yourself honestly, does this serve the story I'm trying to tell? If the answer is yes, keep it. Celebrate it. If the answer is no, or even sort of, maybe, I think so, be brave. Move it to the graveyard. Let the story breathe. You're an entertainer. Your words are your tools. And the best thing you can do with great tools is to use them, not frame them on a wall. If this resonated with you, hit like and subscribe. I put out new ideas for authors every week, and drop a comment below. What's the hardest thing you've ever had to cut from a manuscript? I read every single one. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.